Have you ever wondered what happens when a bestseller gets completely reimagined? What does a car brand do when its most loved SUV has already won millions of hearts? But now the world is changing and expectations are higher than ever. Well, that's exactly what Honda has tackled with the 2026 CR-V. This isn't just a mild update, this is a bold new chapter, where legacy meets innovation. If you're a fan of cars that balance everyday practicality with forward-thinking design, you'll want to stick around for this one. And trust me, if you watch till the end, you'll discover a surprising feature that could make the 2026 CR-V a category leader for years to come. Now let's dive in. The Honda CR-V has long been a quiet giant. Ever since its debut in the late 1990s, it's been a symbol of dependability, versatility, and smart engineering. For families, commuters, and even first-time SUV buyers, the CR-V has been a go-to choice. It's not flashy, but it has always delivered exactly what people needed: comfort, efficiency, and low maintenance. According to US sales data, the CR-V consistently ranks among the top-selling SUVs year after year, and that doesn't happen by accident. But here's where things get interesting. The automotive landscape in 2026 is not the same as it was even 5 years ago. Electric vehicles are no longer futuristic, they're mainstream. Interior tech now influences purchase decisions more than horsepower. And design? It's not just about looks anymore, it's about presence, identity, and emotional connection. Honda knew that simply making the CR-V a little better wouldn't cut it. They had to rethink everything, and they did. With the 2026 model, Honda has made one thing crystal clear. This CR-V isn't just evolving, it's transforming. At first glance, the changes may seem subtle to the casual viewer, but if you're a true car enthusiast, you'll notice the shift in attitude immediately. There's a new confidence in the way this SUV stands. It's longer, it's wider, it carries itself with a stronger road presence, almost like it knows it's no longer just competing with other family crossovers, but with tech-savvy EVs and performance-oriented SUVs too. This psychological shift in design is no accident. Honda's designers tapped into a principle known in psychology as visual dominance. That's the idea that people are drawn to things that appear strong, balanced, and assertive, especially when those traits are subtle, not exaggerated. The 2026 CR-V speaks to this by adopting a more upright, clean silhouette. The front grille is bolder, the lines are tighter, and the stance? Purposeful. You don't even have to drive it to sense its upgraded confidence. But Honda didn't stop at appearances. Their design strategy for 2026 revolved around 3 core principles: precision, presence, and progress. Precision in how every panel and crease contributes to performance. Presence in how the vehicle feels emotionally, something that makes you turn around and look at it twice in the parking lot. And progress, not just in technology, but in how the car adapts to the emotional needs of today's driver. Why emotional needs? Because modern car buyers are no longer just asking, what does this SUV do? They're asking, how does it make me feel? And Honda understands this deeply. That's why the new CR-V doesn't try to scream for attention. Instead, it offers a quiet confidence. It appeals to a driver who values peace of mind, who wants to feel in control, and who enjoys subtle luxury more than loud design. In fact, this emotional intelligence is what separates the 2026 CR-V from many of its competitors. Studies in consumer psychology show that people are more likely to bond with a vehicle that mirrors their values. If a car makes them feel safe, empowered, and respected, they're more likely to stay loyal to that brand for years. Honda has leaned into this insight, crafting a CR-V that doesn't just look good on the road. It feels right from the moment you walk up to it. Another smart move? Listening to the unspoken feedback of longtime owners. Honda reviewed years of user experience data, customer satisfaction scores, and service records. They didn't just ask, what can we add? They asked, what can we fix, elevate, or completely reimagine? That mindset shows in every element of the 2026 CR-V's development. From the placement of the door handles to the proportions of the front windshield, everything was studied. Engineers considered ergonomics not just as a feature, but as a feeling. They wanted to make sure drivers felt at ease, in command, and understood. Because a car isn't just a machine, it's a space you occupy. A space you trust with your family, your routines, and your sense of control on the road. And all of this is just scratching the surface. The real surprises come as we explore the redesigned exterior, the premium interior space, and of course, the evolved powertrain lineup. There's even a new hybrid variant that might just turn skeptics into believers. So keep watching, because if you've ever doubted that an SUV can blend function with emotion, Honda's about to prove it with a 2026 CR-V. And as promised, by the end of this video, you'll discover a hidden upgrade in this model that's not just clever, it's game-changing. Ready to see what Honda's bold new direction looks like in motion? Let's continue. From the very first glance, the 2000 and 2006 Honda CR-V doesn't whisper. It speaks clearly, with authority. The redesign isn't about standing out in a loud way, it's about standing tall in a confident way. And that's exactly how this SUV now commands attention. Honda's designers leaned into something called subtractive styling, a concept that strips away unnecessary visual clutter and focuses on essential form. Instead of overcomplicating the design with flashy add-ons, they've refined the silhouette, sharpened the lines, and let proportion and balance speak for themselves. The result is a shape that feels more sculpted, more grown-up, and more premium than ever before. Look at the front fascia. It's wider, flatter, and more upright. The grille design has evolved with a cleaner hexagonal mesh pattern, framed by a sleek piano black trim that connects seamlessly into the slim LED headlights. These new lights aren't just design flourishes. They're full LED setups with adaptive features, improving nighttime visibility while giving the CR-V a sharp-eyed expression. Lighting, especially in automotive design, taps into one of the most powerful elements of human psychology: recognition. Our brains naturally respond to symmetry and defined light patterns. That's why these new lighting signatures leave an imprint even at a glance. Step back a little and you'll notice the body stance has changed dramatically. The 2026 CR-V now rides on a longer wheelbase with shorter front and rear overhangs. That may sound technical, but what it actually does is make the vehicle look more planted, more stable, and more confident. The longer wheelbase also hints at improved interior space, a visual cue that speaks to functionality before you even open a door. The side profile has also matured. The belt line, essentially the line that separates the windows from the body, sits slightly higher now, giving the SUV a tougher look while still retaining elegance. The wheel arches are more defined, housing newly designed alloy wheels that now range up to 20 inches on higher trims. These wheels aren't just larger, they follow a geometric design theme that plays with depth and contrast, small things that catch the eye and appeal to our subconscious attraction to precision and symmetry. Aerodynamics have taken a front seat in this redesign too. The roofline gently slopes back, not for a coupe-like appearance, but to manage airflow more efficiently. Underbody panels have been optimized to reduce drag, and even the A-pillars, those vertical columns near the windshield, have been reshaped to reduce wind noise at highway speeds. This matters more than it seems. According to studies on driver comfort, even small reductions in cabin noise have a measurable impact on reducing mental fatigue during long drives. Honda has designed the CR-V not just to perform well, but to feel quieter and smoother in motion. Color options for 2026 also reflect this new identity. Honda introduces two fresh shades, Meteorite Gray Pearl and Radiant Red Metallic, both developed using light-reactive metallic flakes that enhance surface depth depending on sunlight angle. These aren't just cosmetic. Car buyers, especially SUV drivers, often form emotional bonds with color. The way a color interacts with the body lines can influence how assertive, elegant, or sporty a vehicle appears. It's not just paint, it's a form of self-expression. Details like the door handles, side mirrors, and roof rails have also been refined. The mirrors are now sleeker with built-in turn indicators, improving both aerodynamics and visibility. Door handles follow a slightly recessed design, inspired by modern EV styling but retaining traditional mechanics. No complicated push buttons or sensors that could fail in harsh weather. This is where Honda's practicality meets premium ambition. The rear of the CR-V completes the new exterior language with vertical taillights that now extend deeper into the tailgate. It's a design choice that balances visibility, brand identity, and road presence. The tailgate itself is flatter and wider, making cargo access easier. Subtle design cues like the hidden rear wiper under the spoiler or the integrated diffuser-style lower bumper show how Honda has paid attention to not just aesthetics, but functional cleanliness and airflow. And then there's the lighting choreography. Yes, the 2026 CR-V introduces animated lighting sequences. As you approach the vehicle, the daytime running lights glow in a soft pulse. When locking or unlocking, the taillights respond in kind. This small detail triggers what's known as the emotional anticipation response. Psychologically, humans respond positively to movement and rhythm, especially when it's tied to an action we've initiated. This creates a sense of interaction and even attachment, strengthening the bond between driver and machine. What makes this exterior redesign so compelling isn't just the way it looks, it's the way it feels. Every visual element has been tied to function, and every functional element is designed to elicit a feeling: confidence, calm, control. Even those who've never driven a CR-V before will recognize the maturity in this new model. It doesn't try to look aggressive just for attention. It looks purposeful, like it knows its role and is perfectly built for it. This is Honda's answer to an SUV market that now demands more than basic utility. It's a market where buyers want to be seen in a vehicle that represents who they are: smart, modern, and thoughtful. And through this new exterior language, the 2000 and 2006 CR-V has become exactly that, a reflection of its driver. All of these changes set the stage for what awaits inside: a completely overhauled interior experience that brings advanced technology and human-centered design together like never before. But it all starts here, with an exterior that finally matches the intelligence and emotion behind the wheel. Once you step inside the 2026 Honda CR-V, it becomes instantly clear. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a redefinition of what comfort and control should feel like in a modern SUV. Honda didn't just redesign the cabin for aesthetics, they rebuilt it around how people actually use and experience their vehicles every day. This is where practicality meets emotional intelligence, and it shows in every surface, every line, and every function. The first thing that strikes you is the sense of space. Thanks to the longer wheelbase and revised chassis layout, the 2026 CR-V offers noticeably more legroom and headroom, both in the front and the rear. But it's not just about adding inches, it's about how those inches are used. Honda focused on cabin psychology, a concept drawn from the idea that people feel more relaxed in environments that are visually open, acoustically quiet, and physically adaptable. That's why the dashboard sits lower, the windows are taller, and the entire layout feels more horizontal and calming. Soft-touch materials now cover nearly every major surface: door panels, armrests, dashboard trim. Even the center console lid has been upgraded with premium padding. Honda took inspiration from luxury interiors, not by copying them, but by learning what actually matters to drivers and passengers on a sensory level. Texture, warmth, and tactile feedback all play a role in emotional comfort. When your fingers touch a surface that feels refined, your mind registers it as care. And that's exactly what this cabin communicates: careful, considered design made for real human use. The seats have been completely redesigned using human-centered ergonomics. With thicker bolstering and dual-density foam, they now offer better support for long drives and reduce fatigue during stop-and-go traffic. More importantly, Honda studied pressure point mapping to ensure comfort wasn't just a feature, it was a science. Drivers no longer sit on the CR-V seats, they sit into them. And with available features like seat ventilation and memory positioning, the entire experience begins to feel like it's tailored specifically for you. But comfort alone isn't enough. Today's drivers expect technology to be present, but never overwhelming. That's where the CR-V finds its balance. Front and center is a fully digital instrument cluster paired with a new 12.3-inch infotainment display that seamlessly integrates navigation, music, and vehicle settings. The screen floats slightly above the dashboard, angled toward the driver for clear visibility. Response times are quicker, thanks to a new operating system, and Honda has finally introduced over-the-air software updates, ensuring the tech inside the car evolves just as quickly as the world outside. Connectivity has also received a major boost. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come standard across all trims. No more fumbling with cords. Just get in, start the engine, and your digital life syncs automatically. Honda also introduced a voice assistant system built on natural language processing. This means you can say things like "I'm cold" or "take me to the nearest gas station," and the system will respond intelligently, not with pre-programmed responses, but with context-aware adjustments. But it doesn't end there. The 2026 CR-V now includes a head-up display on select models, projecting essential driving data directly onto the windshield. This feature, once reserved for luxury brands, helps keep your eyes on the road while still staying informed. A perfect example of tech serving function, not distraction. In the center console, Honda has redesigned storage spaces with real-world usage in mind. There's a wireless charging pad with improved cooling to prevent overheating, larger cup holders that now fit wider bottles, and a modular tray system beneath the armrest for organizing keys, wallets, and gadgets. It's not just storage, it's storage with purpose. Rear passengers haven't been forgotten either. With added legroom, improved seat recline angles, and new rear air vents, comfort levels have risen significantly. Rear USB-C ports are now standard, and on higher trims, you'll find heated rear seats, a rare touch in this segment that speaks directly to family needs and longer journeys. Perhaps one of the most appreciated upgrades is the sound insulation. Engineers used acoustic dampening materials throughout the body structure, especially in the firewall, floor, and wheel arches. This creates a quieter cabin, reducing road noise and wind turbulence. According to psychological studies, a quieter cabin directly correlates with lower driver stress and higher passenger satisfaction. When you're driving in silence, or at least in peace, it's easier to think, easier to focus, and easier to enjoy the ride. And then, of course, there's the Honda Sensing Suite, now smarter and more intuitive than ever. The system has been upgraded with a wider-angle radar, improved camera resolution, and better predictive algorithms. Lane keeping assist is smoother, adaptive cruise is more natural, and collision mitigation feels less intrusive. Honda has fine-tuned how these features respond, not just to road conditions, but to human behavior. If a driver hesitates, changes speed frequently, or takes tighter turns, the system adjusts accordingly. This creates a cooperative driving experience rather than one that feels robotic. Ambient lighting rounds out the cabin, with customizable color settings that subtly illuminate the footwells, door panels, and cup holders. It's a small detail, but lighting can have a powerful subconscious effect. Warm tones create a sense of calm, cool tones promote alertness. By offering control over the interior atmosphere, Honda gives drivers one more way to feel in sync with their vehicle. Every inch of the 2026 CR-V's interior reflects a shift in mindset, from simple utility to emotional engagement. It's no longer about just getting from point A to point B, it's about how you feel in between. Whether you're commuting solo, traveling with family, or exploring a new route, this cabin adapts to your mood, your needs, and your rhythm. All of this makes the redesigned CR-V more than just a people mover. It's a personal space, a mobile comfort zone, and a quiet statement of intelligent design. Let me know when you're ready to move forward with Section 4. Engine, performance, and hybrid evolution. Power, refinement, and purpose. Three qualities that define the driving experience in the 2026 Honda CR-V. While the bold exterior and premium interior set the tone, it's what lies beneath the hood that completes the transformation. Honda's engineers have taken a thoughtful, data-driven approach to performance. Instead of chasing high horsepower numbers for the sake of marketing, they focused on what real drivers actually want: responsiveness, efficiency, smoothness, and long-term reliability. And the result is a lineup that balances brains and muscle with remarkable precision. At the heart of this SUV, the 2026 CR-V continues to offer two distinct powertrain options: a refined one, 5-liter turbocharged inline-4 gasoline engine, and an advanced hybrid electric system. Both setups have been upgraded, not with gimmicks, but with meaningful improvements grounded in performance psychology. How a vehicle makes you feel when you press the pedal, steer into a curve, or cruise silently through traffic. Let's start with the turbocharged gasoline engine. It now produces smoother torque delivery, with better response at low RPMs, thanks to recalibrated boost mapping and throttle tuning. This means less lag, more punch off the line, and stronger confidence when merging or overtaking. The engine still makes around 190 horsepower, but what's changed is how accessible that power feels. The CVT continuously variable transmission has also been revised, with simulated gear shifts under acceleration that give the sensation of traditional gears without sacrificing efficiency. It's a psychological trick that matters. Drivers prefer the feeling of forward momentum being delivered, not just continuously rising revs. Honda knows this and has adjusted the driving feel accordingly. For those seeking a more future-forward solution, the hybrid version of the 2026 CR-V is where the real magic happens. Honda has further developed its two-motor hybrid system, which now delivers up to 204 horsepower and more torque, especially at low speeds where electric motors shine. The transition between electric and gas power is nearly imperceptible. Whether you're gliding through city streets or accelerating onto the highway, the system works in the background, intelligently switching between or combining the two power sources to maximize efficiency and performance. One of the key upgrades is the predictive energy management software. This tech uses GPS and driver behavior to optimize battery usage in real time. So if you're climbing a hill, cruising downhill, or entering stop-and-go traffic, the CR-V knows how to balance regen braking and motor assist to keep the experience seamless. You don't feel the system working, but you feel better driving it. That's the essence of smart performance, where complexity serves simplicity.